Hello learners, I am Parikshit and welcome to a very exciting session on Unacademy CAT-alyst. In today's session of the NMAT, we are going to talk about the NMAT exam pattern, important topics, important dates, and how you are going to prepare for the NMAT. Remember, the NMAT you can appear multiple times. Are you aware of these details? Do you know the ideal time to write the NMAT exam? Do you know the exact topics where the past year NMAT questions have been asked from? So all these details we will discuss in today's class. It's a must review class if NMAT, Nursing Munji Mumbai, and obviously ISB. How many of you know it that even ISB accepts NMAT scores? Now if you don't know the details, look at the session and you'll get all these details. Let's get started with today's class. Okay, this is me, your educator on the platform with the highest live class ratings. Thanks to my learners. A lot of batches are starting on Unacademy in the next few days. So the 22nd of September, we have a target CAT 2021 batch. And then we also have 2022 CAT batch starting. Now, if you wish to enroll for any of these batches, you got to use the code which is there on your screen, Parikshit Live. If you use that code, that's a discount code which will give you maximum discounts on Unacademy subscription, and also it will give you free mentorship. I repeat, one and only code which will offer you free mentorship from my side on the Unacademy platform. Let's get started with today's class. Okay, let's pull up the questions on the screen. Okay, and let me just ensure that I am streaming live. One moment. Yes, okay. Fine, let's get started. First thing, okay. I'm majorly going to talk about the 6-7 pointers which you see on the left side of your screen. The NMAT notification, application fees, eligibility, the number of attempts, institutes that accept the NMAT score, NMAT exam pattern. Can you game this exam, right? How are you going to strategize? And the marking schemes. Okay. First, the NMAT notification. Now, the NMAT notification, right? The notification was released on August 3. The notification got released on August 3. If you have not been following the notification, you can look for this notification. August 3, the notification was released. When is the exam? I mean, when can you fill up the form? The right registration days. I will call it registration days. NMAT, the registration dates starts from August 3, correct? And it will continue up till November 10. So any date from August 3 to November 10, you can fill up your NMAT form. Now let's say, just in case someone still wants to register beyond November 10, what happens? You also have a late registration window. Late registration window. The late registration window starts from November 11 to November 15. Okay, the late registration. Then you have the exam days, NMAT exam days, correct? So the NMAT exams will start from October. It starts from October 14 and it will continue till November 27. It will be continuing till December 27 rather. December 27. Okay. Now these are the most important dates for your NMAT. You got to keep a tab on these days. And then your final results, your results of the NMAT will be out in the first week of Jan 1st/2nd week. 1st/2nd week. So these are the things that you first got to keep in mind for the NMAT. Okay. Now, very important that remember there are multiple attempts allowed in the NMAT. So you got to schedule the exam accordingly. Now, what is the NMAT application fees? Application fees. Next is the application fees for the NMAT. Application fees. Okay. The application fees for the NMAT is 2,300. Okay, plus taxes. 2,300 plus taxes. If that is, you opt for the normal registration days. If you opt for the normal registration days, the fees will be 2,300 plus the taxes. Now, in this 2,300, what is also included is 5 colleges. you can apply in this when you fill up the form, right? For free, you can apply for 5 colleges. For 5 colleges under the NMAT. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the colleges which accept the NMAT score. So for 2,300 plus taxes that you pay, you are eligible to apply for free for 5 colleges. If you wish to apply for more than 5 colleges, you got to pay extra money for that. You got to pay extra money for that. In case you want to opt for the late registration, you go for the late registration, okay, which is you go from November 11 to November 15. If you register during that time, your fees will increase correspondingly. It will be 2,300 plus taxes. Plus taxes. And then if you wish to retake the exam, you want to retake the exam again, or let's say you want to reschedule the exam, you have some difficulty, there is a curfew or something, let's say, remember these are COVID times, anything can happen, you want to reschedule the exam, you want to retake the exam, both are possible. Rescheduling is allowed up to 72 hours prior to the exam. 72 hours prior to the exam, you can reschedule the exam, but this will cost you 1,200 plus taxes. 1,200 plus taxes. Okay. So this is the amount of money that you are going to spend when you fill up the NMAT form. When you fill up the NMAT form. Next comes the eligibility criteria for the NMAT. Eligibility criteria. Okay. Now, for you to be eligible to write the NMAT, you just need to have 50% score in your graduation. 50% in your graduation. If you are a final year student, you can still apply. Final year student, you can still apply provided you get minimum 50% in your graduation when your final mark sheets are out. So if you're a final year student and you will be graduating in the year 2022, before your NMAT starts, before your NMAT, the Nursing Munji, the college starts, you are still eligible to apply, provided conditions apply. When you graduate, your score should be minimum 50%. Your score should be minimum 50%. Okay. I hope up till here this is clear. I hope up till here there are no doubts. Next will be the number of attempts in the NMAT. The number of attempts. Okay. And when should you take the NMAT? Number of attempts and when should you take the NMAT? That's another very important point. Number of attempts. Now you know what? The maximum number of attempts allowed is maximum 3 attempts. Maximum 3 attempts. Okay. Maximum 3. So when I say 3 attempts, you decide whether you wish to appear once, whether you wish to appear twice, or whether you wish to appear 3 times. Okay? In case you decide to appear only once, you know what? Your fees will only be, you just got to pay 2,300 plus taxes. You want to appear for 2 times, you will pay 2,300 plus taxes. And remember, because you are not satisfied with the performance, first exam performance, you got to reschedule the exam again. So you don't have to register. You don't have to register. Registration only once. Let me write it down. Registration only once. Okay, only once. You don't need to register multiple times. That's the good part of it. But you got to pay the rescheduling fees. You are rescheduling your exam again. So the second time you got to pay another 1,200 plus taxes. So basically 2 times would mean 3,500 plus taxes. Similarly, if someone wants to attempt for 3 times, it is 2,300 plus taxes, 1,200 plus taxes second time, and third term again it will be 1,200 plus taxes. Provided you wish to apply for maximum 5 colleges. If it is more than 5 colleges, you need to pay more money. Now, next important thing is who should appear when? Who should appear when? If you decide to appear only once, let's say you want to appear only once. Why only once? Could be 2 reasons. A, you have a money constraint. Okay, you have, it's fine. I mean, all of us can have money constraint. You have a money constraint, or probably Nursing Munji is not your dream college. NMIMS Mumbai is not your dream college. You feel it's an okay college. You are meant for the IIMs or something better than NMIMS Mumbai. Fine. If you decide to appear only once, I would say maximum November first week. By November first week, you should appear. You should appear for the NMAT. You should appear November first week. Why do I say so? Because you know what? Last 20 days, you got to focus only for the CAT. on November 20th, 1 week before the CAT, you cannot be preparing for the Narasimhanji examination, right? So you are appearing once, appear it before the NMAT. Remember, I hope you remember one thing, that in the month of December, you have got the IIFT exam and you have got the SNAP exam right? You already have 2 exams in December. I would suggest do not take another exam, otherwise it will become very hectic. You will not be able to do justice to the exam. Don't take it in December. So maximum one time if you are appearing, maximum by November 1st week you appear. Or for candidates who wish to appear for 2 times, you know what? You got to appear at least maximum by October end. Maximum by October end, and for you also it's the same thing. Maximum by October end you appear. October end you appear. Okay? Why? Why do I say October end? Think about it. You appear for the exam within 10-15 days. It will be at least 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes 15, 16, 17 days. It will take minimum 2 weeks for you to get the results. Once you get the results, only then can you reschedule it. Now remember, if you appear by October end, what would happen? By November 20th, November 15, 20th, you will get your results, you will get your first score, your first attempt, and then you know what? You can reschedule the exam, take the second attempt on December first week. By December 10, I would say by December 15, you should take the second attempt. Yes, that's very important that you attempt the second attempt by December 15. So you get some time, you know your mistakes, you've already appeared once. So by December 15, you can appear for the second time. And for candidates who wish to appear for 3 times, remember, maximum by October 20, you should write your first attempt. Maximum by October 20, you should write your first attempt. Then maximum, remember, another 15 days, by November 5, you will get your exam, you will get your results. Then maximum by November 5, you do the second attempt. You appear the second attempt, November 5, and then here again, third attempt, maximum by December 15. Why December 15? Because remember, after that, you want to prepare. The weekend after that, you got to prepare for the SNAP. So there are 3 different possibilities depending on the money you are ready to spend, depending on if NMAT is your dream college, depending on how desperate you are to do an MBA this year, you can choose which of the 3 slots, okay, or which of the 3 strategies you are going to apply. I would say for those of you who are preparing well, please try to appear. If money is not a constraint for you, if you think that money is not a constraint, you have the time, please try to appear for 3 times. And as I said, when I say 3 times, once in October, once in November, and once in December. Plan the days, otherwise it's no point. Remember, you write the exam, you get your results in 2 weeks. After that, you prepare for a few days and then appear again. There is no point appearing for the exam without preparing for the exam, right? So keep that time slot in between your marks, the time by the time your results will come, and then keep a few days so that you are prepared well, and then go and write the next attempt. I hope you get the point. Okay. Next, institutes that accept the NMAT score. Now, there are many colleges that all accept the NMAT score, right? There are many colleges which accept the NMAT score, but obviously your first choice is NMIMS. Which NMIMS I am talking about? We are talking about NMIMS Mumbai. This is the best college. If not in NMIMS Mumbai, your second best pick could be NMIMS Bangalore. Then which college do you have? If you are interested in analytics, then ISB analytics program, also accepts NMAT scores. So if you are interested in doing analytics, remember analytics is an upcoming area now. It's one of the hot areas in the job market. You can go for the ISB analytics program using your NMAT score. And also SP Jain, okay, accepts, you know what? NMAT scores. Now, do all programs of NMAT scores. Okay. Do all programs of SPJ accept NMAT score? No. Not the flagship program, but many other programs that SPJ run, right, will accept the NMAT score. So these are your top colleges which accept the NMAT score. Obviously, undoubtedly, for the flagship MBA program, it is NMIMS Mumbai that you are targeting. And if you are interested in other programs, let's say the analytics program, you can also target ISB analytics program via your NMAT score. Fine. Next would be NMAT exam structure. NMAT exam structure. Okay. Next would be the NMAT exam structure. Okay. Now this is important. The NMAT has undergone some changes in recent times. Okay. So there are three sections in NMAT. The first is your language skills. They call it language skills. Second is your quantitative aptitude. Quantitative aptitude, right? And third is your reasoning skills. So these are your three sections in the NMAT. Okay. Number of questions. Okay. Number of questions, and then I will say here total. Number of questions in each of the sections is 36. So language skills 36, quants 36, and reasoning 36. That gives you a total of 108 questions. 108 questions to be solved in 2 hours. It's a 2-hour paper, 2-hour exam. 2-hour exam. Okay. And then time limit that is given to you. Quants is the highest time. Quants you get 52 minutes. Verbal language skills you will get 28 minutes. And then reasoning you will get 40 minutes. Correct? So a total of 120 minutes. Is what is allotted to you in the NMAT. Remember, you can choose this order in which you would want to attempt the paper. Let's say you want to attempt reasoning first, go ahead and attempt reasoning. You want to attempt language skills first, go ahead and attempt language skills. So I would say whichever is your strongest area, please attempt that first. Why? Because that would give you a lot of confidence. You can't switch between sections. Can you solve 2 questions from quants and the third question from language skills? No. Once you start, let's say quants, for the next 52 minutes, you'll be doing only quants. But you get the right to decide the order in which you are gonna attempt the paper. That's the beauty of the NMAT last year and also this year. So you decide accordingly, and please find out which is your strongest area. Attempt that area first in the exam. Clear? So this was how the NMAT has been structured. I'm going to talk more about the important topics in the NMAT, but we will come to that after we talk about the marking scheme. That's more important. The marking scheme of the NMAT. Okay. Next. Now the marking scheme of the NMAT, a lot of students don't understand, and that is why they don't do well in the NMAT. Okay. So next I'm going to talk about the marking scheme. Okay. Now NMAT, as you can see, there are 108 questions. And each question 1 mark each. Okay. Now there's a trick here. 1 mark each. So your raw score will be out of 108. But you know what? Your scale score is different. Okay, will be different. That will be somewhere around 350. 360 will be your approx 350 will be your scale score. Now, how do you get the raw score? From the raw score, how do you come to the scale score? That's what you got to understand now. Okay. Now, you know what? On the x-axis is the number of questions. So, question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, and so on. On your y-axis is the difficulty level. I will say is the difficulty level of the questions. Okay, difficulty level. Now what happens is, so on the bottom side you will have easy, and on the top you will have really difficult questions. So now how it works is the NMAT, if you have heard this term, is a computer adaptive test. Computer adaptive test. CAT means the NMAT is a computer adaptive test. What is the meaning of a computer adaptive test? Listen to me carefully. You know what? In the NMAT, let's say you attempt question number 1. Question number 1 is going to be really easy. It's going to be an easy question with the difficulty level out here. Now there are two scenarios. If you get question number 1 correct, question number 2, the difficulty level will be more. Let's say question number 2 also you get it correct, question 3 the difficulty level will still be more. You get 3 also correct, 4 the difficulty level increases. So as and when you get the questions correct, the difficulty level of the questions will keep on increasing. Can you see this? It will keep on increasing. Such that when they convert your raw score to a scale score, a difficult question would have a higher weightage. Remember, your raw marks, these are converted to a scale marks. What they say is normalization. So if you attempt a difficult question correctly and get it correct, in your normalization process, your score will increase. On the contrary, let's think about it. You know what? You end up getting the first question. Let's say the first question difficulty level is somewhere out here. You get this question wrong. Okay. So what will happen? Question 2, the difficulty level will go down. Question 2, again you go wrong. Question number 2, again you go wrong. Then question 3, difficulty level further goes down. 3 also you get wrong. 4, it goes farther down. And now what happens? Question number 5, even if you get it correct, compared to 4, the difficulty level will increase slightly. Question number 6, compared to 5, the difficulty level will increase slightly. And if you connect the points, can you see? If you connect the points, this is how the graph is looking like. What does it mean? It means in the initial few questions, you got the questions wrong. So you reached here. Now this question is really easy. Even if you get this question correct, okay, the raw marks you get is 1 only, because 1 marks per question. But the scale marks that will happen, right? The normalization that will happen. You know what? In the normalization, your normalization score will go down. Why? Because this score, when question is easy, when normalized, the weightage to this question will be very less, because of which your scale score will be very less. You get the point? So there can be 2 scenarios. It could be scenario A is student A, okay, gets let's say 50 questions correct. He might end up with 250 scale scores. Another student, you know what? He also gets 50 correct, but his scale score could only be 100. And this scale score is what matters. What is the difference? You know the difference is the first student, he probably got the first few questions correct, 30, 40 first few questions correct. The difficulty level kept on increasing, because of which when converted to the normalized score, his marks went up. The second student, you know what? His initial 15-20 questions, the accuracy was very low, because of which the difficulty level of the questions came down. And now, even if the student got the question correct, remember these questions are very easy. He has always been getting the previous questions wrong. Even if you get it correct, when converted to the normalized score, the marks that you get will be low. Hence, it is important that when you start your NMAT exam, the initial 5, 6, 7 questions, you should get them correct. The initial 5, 6, 7 questions. Remember, you cannot skip a question. You have to choose something. There is no negative marking. You definitely have to choose some answer, and depending on the answer that you choose, the next question will appear. You get it correct, the next question will be slightly difficult. You get it wrong, the next question will be slightly easy. So remember, this matters a lot, and hence it is important. The initial 5, 6, 7 questions, you have to get it correct if you want to do well in the NMAT. Very important. A lot of students do not understand that NMAT is a computer adaptive test. Your answer decides the difficulty level of the next question that will appear on the screen. Very important point. Okay. Okay, next that I'm going to talk about are the important topics of the NMAT. Important topics of the NMAT. Questions which been asked majorly in the NMAT from these areas. Now, quants, I'm going to let you know. But first, let's talk about language skills. So, in NMAT, the verbal section is called language skills. Okay, and the logical reasoning section LRDI in the CAT corresponds to the reasoning section in the NMAT reasoning section. Now first let's talk about language skills. Remember, there are 36 questions in total. 36 questions in the language section. Okay, language skills, 36 questions. Out of the 36 questions, maximum questions you will get from RCs. Maximum 12 to 14 questions will be from RCs. Then error detection. What is error detection? Grammar will be wrong. The grammar will be wrong. You got to make use of your grammar knowledge and determine which sentences are correct and which are incorrect. Then you have parajumpers. You know about parajumpers because you've been preparing for the CAT. Similarly, there will be another 5-6 questions based on antonyms, synonyms, and grammar. 5-6 questions based on antonyms, synonyms, and grammar. And then analogies. Analogies will be as in, let's say they will tell you novice, let's say amateur. And then they will ask you experienced. What? Experience is what? Okay? Experience is what? So you first need to derive the relation. What is the relation between these two? You are able to derive, okay, this is a synonym, fine. You will be able to derive the synonym for experience. All of the questions are multiple choice questions. So this is what you got to prepare for your language skills. Next, the reasoning section. If you look at the reasoning section in the NMAT consists of two parts. Verbal reasoning as well as non-verbal reasoning. Okay. What is verbal reasoning? The verbal reasoning is this part. This part that you see is verbal reasoning. It is based on your knowledge of English. Verbal reasoning. And what you see here is non-verbal reasoning. These are not like the typical CAT LRDI questions. It's not like that. It's generally much easy. Okay. Now, out of these, maximum questions are generally asked from sequential output. When I say 8 to 10, basically there will be 2 to 3 sets. What is the sequential output? They will say a machine, when given an input, converts the input to an output following a certain pattern. You got to determine the pattern. What are syllogisms? Syllogisms are also important. Example, some cats are dogs, some dogs are boys, some boys are trees, and then they will ask you which of these can be derived from the given statement. These are syllogism based questions. Then you have got comparison based questions. They will give you 5 boys with 5 different heights and array and with 5 different ages, and you got to rank them from rank 1 to rank 10, so on. Okay. Venn diagram, it is something you all know. It could be a 2-set Venn diagram or a 3-set. They will not ask you beyond a 3-set Venn diagram. And then there are grouping. What is grouping? Grouping is basically odd man out. They will give you number series. They will give you 5 numbers and they will ask you find the odd man out. So basically you are grouping them and letting go of the person who is not able to fall in a group. So number series, sentence series, they will give you letters and ask you to fill in the blanks. Options will always be there. Next is your verbal part. Now within the reasoning section, remember total is again 36 questions. 36 questions. How many minutes we are talking about? We are talking about 40 minutes. 40 minutes in the reasoning paper. And 36 questions. How many minutes here? We are talking about 28 minutes for your language skills. Okay. Statement, assumptions, and conclusions. They will give you a small paragraph and they will ask you which of these is the perfect conclusion to this paragraph, or which of this is an assumption that the author made while explaining the facts of this paragraph. Similarly, there will be critical reasoning. These are puzzles. There will be puzzles. Courses of action. Would be which of them would basically they will tell you that you are probably the local administrator of your city. There is lot of water logging in your area. A citizen group has made a request to you to clean up the area. What will you do? They will give you 3 options and they will ask you which is the best course of action. And next they will ask you argumentative based questions. Argumentative means which of this would strengthen the argument, which of this would weaken the argument if true. Remember, I think you have done such questions in your verbal ability while preparing for the CAT. Which of this strengthens the argument, weakens the argument, which of these supports the author's theme, which of this critically analyzes the author's tone. Such questions will be asked in the NMAT. Okay. Next in your quants, okay. Now quants also there are 36 questions. Quants also there are 36 questions in quants. But the good part about quants is it takes time and hence 36 minutes, but it will be 36 questions. 36 questions, okay. But 52 minutes. But you will get 52 minutes to attempt the quants section. The most important topics in quants are arithmetic. There is nothing more important in quants than arithmetic. You don't have to prepare for all of it. You don't have to prepare a lot of mensuration, trigonometry. They will not ask you. But arithmetic, when I say arithmetic, percentage, profit loss, discount, ratio, proportion, variation, average, mixtures, allegation, time and work, time and distance, and SICA. These 7 chapters you got to do very well. Next, they will ask you in quants only data sufficiency. A lot of you might not have done data sufficiency before this because this is not asked in the CAT. So what they will do? They will give you 4 statements and then they will say mark option A if the question can be answered by statement 1 alone and not by 2 alone. So they will give you 2 statements, right? Similarly, they will ask you mark option B if statement can be answered by B alone and not by statement A. Such questions will come. A lot of it will come in data sufficiency. And in your NMAT, DI will come in the quant section. DI will come in the quant section. Remember, reasoning is different. DI will be a part of your quant section. So arithmetic, data sufficiency and DI is what you got to focus on if you want to do well in the quants part of your NMAT. Remember, there are no negative marks. You got to attempt every question. There is no sectional cutoff. Overall cutoff will be there and you got to score well because the paper difficulty level is generally easy. You got to expect to do around 60 to 70% of the questions correct. Okay. I think that is it for today. For those of you who are not yet members of Unacademy Plus or who have not followed me regularly, remember every morning and every night we are doing LRDI and quants these days. Every morning. So morning we do LRDI 7:45 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. live on Unacademy Plus. Okay, Monday to Friday. And every night we are doing quants. 10 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. live. What we are doing in this classes, almost we are done with the syllabus, right? Now we are doing mock questions. Every day, morning and night, we do LRDI mocks and quants mocks. Remember, a lot of you are struggling in the mocks, and hence I have taken up these chapters. Every day, we will do 2.5 hours of mock questions. If you can do this religiously with me, morning 1 hour, night 1.5 hours, 2.5 hours daily, till your CAT exam, till the next 70 days. Trust me, I mean, no one can stop you from getting a 99 plus percentile. Every day, 2.5 hours, we will solve mock questions Monday to Friday. If you have not joined me yet, now is the time to join. And if you're not a member of Unacademy Plus yet, you can definitely subscribe to Unacademy Plus using this code parikshit live. If you use this code, you will get 10% discount on the subscription fee and also you will get free mentorship. I repeat, free mentorship. Remember, mentorship is all about going beyond your class hours to help you. These are the last few days. You definitely would want to have a mentor and after that you'll be your GDPI. You definitely want to speak to someone to answer questions like why MBA? Why MBA? Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? Everything is possible if you join Unacademy, but you have to join using this code. Only then you get me as your mentor, as your free mentor. Parikshit Life is the code. Code will also get you discounts. Okay. And the other part is, a lot of students often ask me, sir, if I join using your code, do I get access to only your lectures? Absolutely no. Remember, you are subscribing to the Unacademy platform. You're not subscribing to me, an educator. So every educator who teaches on Unacademy, you will be able to access their classes, be it quants, LRDI or verbal. Only thing, if you join using my code, you will get maximum discounts. And second part, The only code which gives you free mentorship. That is it. That is it. A quick view of the prices. You can go either for a 3-month or a 6-month subscription. Why 6 months? Because after the CAT also you can be there with us for the GDPI, for your mock exams, for your GDPI, for your TISNAT, for your SNAP, for your IIFE, for your ZAT. All this preparation and classes will happen on Unacademy. So you can be a part of Unacademy and go for a 6-month subscription. We will give you 1 month free, and whatever prices you see on this also you will get extra discounts if you use the code parikshit live. So use my code to save big time. Okay, and the iconic subscription is also available for those of you who are interested. The MBA test marathon is there. Do enroll for it, and yeah, the CAT Mega Combat is open for enrollment. Okay, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I'm going to see you in my next class. Till then, goodbye and stay safe. Bye.